Now, just as a digress for a minute here for folks who don't know, the different stages in editing a manuscript. Okay. The author, hopefully, has done at least a little editing before he sends it in. My manuscripts are usually pretty clean, probably cleaner than most, really. But that's because of how many years I spent doing copy. It's like if you get it wrong, your client is really, really pissed, kind of thing. No, you don't spell our company's name that way. You don't? Oh, well, so there's an editorial process that the writer goes through before releasing the manuscript to the publisher. Okay, then there's the copy edit. Their manuscript. The copy editor will go through and will fix a lot of stuff from the existing style sheet on a series. Okay, you capitalized this in the first 3 books, so I'm going to cap it all here, and then they'll make a little note, say, this is what I did. Is that okay? Okay. So there's an edit which is primarily to fix stuff mechanically. Okay, capitalization, punctuation, etc. Okay, the copy editor will also usually query sentences that he or she thinks are unclear or, potential typos. One thing that I really kind of wish they'd do more of with me is because I use the voice recognition software, there are typos in the manuscript that are spelled correctly. Okay, like can't instead of can, because the voice recognition misunderstood me. And when I'm reading it, I know what it's supposed to say. So unless it's just egregiously wrong, my eye is going to have a tendency to hit it and say, okay, fine, that sentence is good. All right, well, the copy editors are supposed to try and kind of catch that too. And it's harder in my case because of the voice recognition software. And because it's never misspelled, it's just wrong. Okay, you see what I'm saying? If it were misspelled, like they say, oh, well, C-A-N-T with no apostrophe, he obviously meant can't. Okay, or probably did, so we'll circle it and ask it. Okay, there's also a style edit, which usually gets rolled up into the copy edit process from my end. And that's where, for example, Tony Weisskopf will say, I think we need to punch this up, or I think we need to pull that back, or I think we need Samuel Pepys to sound a little more like a 17th century guy than a 20th century guy, kind of thing. And like I say, that comes at different points. Okay, for example, in the case of the Valkyrie Protocol, Tony had read the manuscript with her editor's eye, okay, and had pointed out stuff that needed to be done that was significant enough that there was no point doing the rest of the copy edit until we'd addressed the style edit that she needed handled. Okay. I think the book got stronger considerably in the process, but see, that's part of this whole back and forth process that goes on between the writer and the editor. And there are some people who think that once you reach a certain point, you're not edited. And for some people, that's true. Bain is well aware that I still put my pants on one leg at a time. Okay, and Tony has been my editor since, since Crusade. Jim handed me off to her then, so I'm going to make you a Tony pet. And I said, why, Jim? And he said, because I'm working with Robert Heinlein. And I said, Bob, I got a problem with what you did here. And his response is, really, what is it? I say to you, David, I got a problem with what you did here. Your response is, Jim! And I said, it is not. And he said, yes, it is. And, you know, well, Tony figured out that the problem is that the way my head works, I have to find the places where the suggestion would be a problem and be comfortable that I've identified them before I can think about whether or not it would be a good thing. Okay. And very often I decided it would be a good thing, but I had to know where the problems were first. And Jim was trying to do copy edits with style edits with me on the phone. And so he was getting my first response like this. And Tony did that with me once. And then she started giving me written ones. God, there's time for me to think before I responded. You know? She told me one time, she said, David, she said, I worked with you for a long time. And the thing that I find remarkable is I'll say to you, you know, have you considered doing it this way? And you'll say, that's the way I did it originally. But I looked at it and I thought about it and it didn't work. And here's why. And Tony said, and I'll go, you know, he's right. You know, in uncompromising honor, she decided to go through and look for places where she could cut. I wound up, in response to her comments, adding 4,000 words to the manuscript. I was like, yes, yes. Anyway, but I digress. But anyway, so we are now at the actual final stage where the writer has input, which is where the actual type for the book is sent to you in electronic format for you to read through, looking for typos. It's your last chance to make changes, you know, et cetera. Used to was, back when I started, before Al Gore invented the internet, it was reams of paper that was getting sent back and forth. And it was the same paper getting sent back and forth so that you weren't losing the editorial marks on it and whatnot. And hopefully somebody at the other end was Xeroxing it all before they sent it off to you just in case. It wasn't like today where you can actually literally zoom the entire manuscript like that. In an electronic file you can open and there it is, you know, WSGI. You remember WSGI when it was all brand new? What you see is what you get. You know, like wow, you know, kind of thing. Speaking as someone who started in the, I have a typewriter, I have a ream of paper, copywriting. Okay, people who didn't do that have no clue how the world has changed in that respect. But anyway, so that's where we are on the Valkyrie Protocol.